Hello, so number one, we, as a collective unit, are going to pretend that the last 3 months never happened and never passed, alright? It's been a week since my last video. So as the title suggests, this video is going to be about how to work with or heal from daddy or mommy issues, which, as we covered in the last two videos, are more of attachment issues. And if you haven't watched those two videos yet, I would suggest watching them first. I'm doing that like I know where I'm gonna place them. So as with any issue that we have, the first step to actually fixing things is the self-awareness, self-analysis, where you really want to look back at your childhood, your adolescence, and your relationship with your parents, and really see how their parenting styles may have affected you, may have led to particular behaviors in you today that affect your relationships, whether romantic or platonic. For example, with me, I realized that my parents had a habit of keeping their kids in the dark about big life changes such as moving to another country until the decision had already been made completely, even though they've been thinking about it for months. And then they'll just tell us right then and there, like, oh, we're moving, without really thinking about how that could affect us emotionally. Maybe they thought we were too young to care. And that happened a few times while I was growing up, to the point that now I naturally don't get to enjoy good things as they're happening. I'm always waiting for them to end. I'm always waiting for like a sudden negative thing to happen to take it away from me, so I don't really enjoy good things while I have them. That's just an example of how some way that your parents treated you, or the way that they thought was the best parenting style growing up, may have affected how you deal with things today. Now, of course, this isn't easy to do alone, and sometimes when there's been a pattern of behavior that you've experienced from a very young age, it's really rooted inside you, there might be buried memories, there might be trauma that you need to unpack, and that would be difficult to do alone. And so obviously the obvious answer, which you probably knew you're gonna get today, is therapy. Seeking a mental health professional, counseling, that is going to be the most helpful thing you can do for yourself. I know a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people have some shame or embarrassment around seeking therapy. I know I did back when I was 16 or 15 and I was going through my own issues. It took me a long time to go to see the school counselor the first time, but after my first time, by my luck, my first counselor was amazing, and so I had a good first impression of therapy or counseling. It really helped me. It gave me a place to at least be able to talk about my feelings and get someone's opinion on it, someone who has possibly more experience in life or just with a certain aspect, and they can really guide me through it. Now, how therapy can help you is not just about letting out your feelings. Of course, that's something really valid and something that really works well. Sometimes you just gotta vent. That's why sometimes journaling and all that can really help. But really what they can help you do is, number one, they can give you a safe space to safely unpack trauma that might be, depending on how your life was growing up, there might be some really big traumatic experiences that you're going to unpack that are leading to your behavior today, something to do with abandonment or trust issues that could be rooted in some really bad event, and that's not safe for you to really realize on your own. You have no idea how you're going to react to it, so they will help guide you to it slowly and safely and be there for you once that might happen. And they'll help you process them in a much healthier way and help you cope with them moving forward, and give you just healthy practical solutions to now tackle your relationships today with people, including your parents. Because assuming that it's toxic parenting that led to your issues today, that does not just end after we're adults. If you're still in contact with your parents, they can still be doing that to you today. A counselor or a therapist will be able to show you what a healthy relationship with your parent in adulthood looks like, so that you're aware of how to treat them now and have healthy relationships with them now and create strong boundaries. You don't have to avoid relationships if you realize that you're still dealing with some issues. Obviously, if you feel like you're really not in a place to be with another person and have an equal relationship with another person, it's good that you have that self-awareness, and definitely don't get into a relationship. But, we all have issues. We all come into a relationship with baggage, whether it's from our upbringing or whether it's just previous relationships or experiences. It doesn't mean that you can't get into a new one, but just you have to work on it, and it can really be the way that you heal from the past, and it gives you a space to to work on yourself and have healthier communication, boundaries, behaviors, and kind of heal you from your childhood trauma with the right person, the right relationship. And it's only really with getting into relationships that we sometimes realize the unhealthy behaviors that we have, or expectations or boundaries that we set, and only then can we learn how we need to work on ourselves. For example, for the longest time, I thought I had a secure attachment style just because I felt like, oh, nothing went wrong in my childhood, or my parents were great. But like I've said in previous videos, sometimes your parents have the best intentions, they do their best, it just affects you differently, and you still end up with issues, and you only realize when you get into relationships or with your new relationships with friends that you're like, oh wait, I'm actually not a securely attached person, and I have some things to work on. This works the same if maybe you are the healthier partner in a relationship who is dating someone with some attachment issues. It's not to say that that relationship can't work or you can't work together, but obviously it takes work. As we mentioned earlier, therapy, so couples counseling or couples therapy can help you have a safer space to talk about your feelings, things that you might have not brought up before. Have someone there to kind of, be unbiased when guiding you to how to resolve your conflict. But then also just as a partner, like without therapy, obviously the biggest thing always is communication. That is ultimately what it is, communication and setting, healthy boundaries. When you are the person dealing with a partner who has some attachment issues, the most important thing is to communicate your needs. Because what tends to happen when you're in a particular situation where the attachment issues have been, you've kind of hit a nerve and their issues are really heightened in this moment, the partner tends to go into a more childish or teenager mindset, and if you don't communicate your needs and you're kind of just taking care of them, then you're just playing into the role of being their parental figure. But if you stand there and you tell them that you feel like right now the relationship is not really being equal and you'd like to communicate and be on an equal standing again, that helps you not fall into that part where you're neglecting yourself and just doing everything for them. And of course, you don't want to get your partner defensive, so something that you probably have heard before is to use I statements. So instead of accusing someone of like, you don't care about me, being like, I feel as if maybe you're not giving me as much attention these days or whatever. So basically putting it as, I feel that you are doing this, so it doesn't come across as you accusing them, and that opens the lines of communication to hopefully have a more healthy relationship with more communication and being equal, rather than this whole child-parent dynamic. Using the I statements also helps you take accountability for the role that you play in the relationship. A relationship takes two, and you can't always act as if your partner is making you act a certain way. If you enable them to treat you like a caretaker, then that's on you as well. So yeah, go to therapy. I know therapy is not affordable. There are things, obviously you've heard about, like BetterHelp, but I've not tried that before, but apparently it works well for some people. It's more affordable. Google online, honestly, like you have to search online, you'll find resources. I know in Canada, and like where I am in Toronto right now, there is CAMH, which they can provide you with resources for cheaper or even free counseling services. Of course, they'll have long waiting times sometimes, but if you're working, maybe your health insurance can help you get some sessions in. Just see your resources. If you're in uni or in school, then usually you have hopefully a counseling department. And of course, there's also a lot of self-help books out there about attachment styles or attachment issues, hopefully help you improve your relationships. But yeah, I will try to include some links below, some resources you can check out to get you some help if you need it. That's the video for today. I hope that it was helpful. Thanks to all the new subscribers I've been getting in my time away. That's been cool. I thought I'd lose a lot, but thanks. I hope that I continue to make videos that you like. Alright, take care and see you in the next one.